I'm considering canceling my husband's birthday after he ruined mine.
Ooh, eye for an eye, buddy boy.
I only have 4 days to make a decision. I've been going back and forth trying to decide if I should cancel my husband's birthday reservations that I made for him at a really cool indoor golf place, followed by his dinner reservations. He's always commented on wanting to try both, and I thought it would make a nice gift. His birthday is only a few days after mine. And by the way, this comes from user NoPenalty9836, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Angie.
And I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. But we don't have all the answers. So if you've got answers of your own, why don't you let them be known down in the comments below. For Christmas, he legitimately took the time to buy and wrap me a box of diapers for our daughter in the next size up and presented it to me as my gift. I'm still angry about that, by the way. No gag gifts for Christmas have never been a thing between us. Last year, he got me a spatula, and I thought this year he would do better after the falling out we had over the spatula. A little bit of background information. Our daughter is now 2 months old, and we have been working on replacing the floor and painting our home since before she was born, with the goal of having it done before she can crawl. Over the summer, he did the nursery floor, and in the fall, a week before she was born, he did the flooring in our older son's room. Mind you, the flooring was given to us for free from my dad, and my dad bought my husband his own miter saw for Christmas, so we would no longer have to borrow his. I do all the painting. This past week, as we have been clearing things out of our bedroom for me to do the painting and him to do the flooring, he brought up my birthday. He said, "Wow, all this work for your birthday gift." I said, "Excuse me, what gift?" He said, "All the work of putting the flooring in our bedroom. But don't worry, I'll still do a dinner for you, and we can invite your mom and my family. What do you want me to cook?" I said, "I would just like to have a quiet birthday dinner with you, me, and the kids at Longhorn Steakhouse. Then come home and watch a movie together. Also, the flooring is not my gift. This is something we've been planning to do for a year, and with the house torn up, I don't want to host anyone, especially after hosting Thanksgiving and Christmas. We don't even have a place for people to sit. I'm currently sleeping on the mattress on the floor. Plus, I'm not a fan of your brother coming over, so you two can sit and drink while I watch our kids and his." He said, no, he was going to cook at home and asked me to tell him what I wanted. I said, "Okay, I want steak, mashed potatoes, and green beans. But there's a problem here. He can't make mashed potatoes to save his life, and only likes green beans if they're boiled, like fresh green beans slowly sauteed with olive oil, garlic, and herbs. So if I want them cooked this way, I'll have to do it." He said, "No, we're not doing steak. It'll cost too much if the family comes over. I'll just do chicken." I lost it. I said, "Again, for my birthday, I don't want people over." And he kept arguing. And I said, "Fine, do what you want for my birthday." Side note, last year he ordered the traditional tres leches cake, but with peaches. I hate peaches. He likes peaches. I like strawberries. Plus, my name was spelled wrong on the birthday cake, and he thought it was hilarious. I am now seriously considering canceling his birthday golf outing and dinner reservations, leaving home if he invites his family for my birthday, buying him a box of diaper wipes, and presenting it with a card that says, "Happy birthday, I painted the house for you." Would I be the a-hole? Not the a-hole for canceling, but people tell her that she is an a-hole for staying with someone who clearly doesn't like her or cares about her. There's gotta be more. He can't just be like this all the time, right? Because I do know some people. I mean, I used to be one of them when I was a younger, dumber person. I was terrible with birthdays, and it was because I was like projecting my own feelings about my birthday onto other people's birthdays and being like, well, it's just a day. It's like, whatever. Like you can do something nice for someone whenever. And it's like, I had to get past that.
Right.
But I don't know how old this guy is. I doubt he's like 19. We've got some comments from OP. About 2 weeks after Christmas last year, when I had time to relax, I asked him for a genuine answer about the spatula as a gift and what the heck he was thinking. He said that he was at the store and saw that it was blue, the type of blue I like, and he thought of me and thought that it would match the utensil holder and our blue microwave that I found in the store one day and geeked out over. He said he thought I would like it because of the pretty blue color. That's about as deep as the thought went. He said that he never thought the gift would be sexist or imply that I had to do more cooking for him. To make up for the spatula, though, he did go out and buy me the KitchenAid stand-up mixer I had my eye on for over 2 years. I was really happy about it until he said, So when are you gonna make me some homemade bread? We had the talk about never ever ever buying kitchen appliances for someone as a gift unless directly asked for. That kitchen things used by the whole family is not a gift for one person. When I'm no longer angry about the diapers, I'll be able to calmly ask him after the 2024 Christmas spatula debacle, what were you thinking gifting me diapers in 2025? I mean, dang. I'm thinking if this is how it's going to be, we might just make it a pact to buy each other practical gifts for the home. No more disappointment that way. And there is an update. Birthday plans? I have since logged in and canceled his birthday golf outing and dinner reservations for next week. Tomorrow is my birthday and his day off work, so he will be watching The Baby, as I have also booked myself for a 90-minute massage. After that, I'll be stopping by Starbucks for my favorite drink and 1 hour of uninterrupted time with my new book that my son got me for Christmas. Then I'll be picking him up from school and taking him to go see a movie. I will round off the day by coming home, taking a long hot bubble bath, ordering DoorDash, and ending my day holding baby girl. That sounds like an amazing birthday to me. For him, I'll just be getting him a card that reads, "Happy birthday, I painted the house for you." The bag will contain a case of diaper wipes. If he looks disappointed, I will just tell him I canceled the golf outing and dinner reservations and instead got this bulk pack of wipes. The perfect gift to accompany the box of diapers you got me for Christmas. And he will get the message. In terms of divorce, for the people advocating for divorce and booting him out, leaving him with kids in the middle of the night, claiming that he isn't a good husband to me and father to our baby, please know that you only got one little glimpse into our life. He is a loving and caring father to our children. We struggled with infertility for a very long time, so this baby was a surprise, but we welcomed the blessing. Every day, I feared that I might pass away during labor as my pregnancy was high risk. He took a month off of work to care for me as I recovered from third-degree tearing and a bruised tailbone. Every night, he does the nighttime routine, bath, pajamas, story time, and rocks baby girl to sleep. While he does that, I do the house reset. Dishes, garbage, sweep. He wakes with me for all her feedings and prioritizes my sleep over his to make sure that I am rested enough to care for our daughter during the day.
Okay.
So yeah, it sounds like this guy is just really bad at gifting.
Yeah.
And really bad at being at he's bad at birthday.
Right.
Said, babe, it's my birthday.
Yeah.
You asked me what I want for dinner for my birthday, and then you say no. So why did you ask me? Do you
Right.
see how that's not lining up?
Right.
You know?
Have a straightforward conversation, please.
This is the same man who during pregnancy cooked me breakfast every morning and massaged my feet every night. Before he leaves for work every day, he'll make sure I have time to self-care, like shower and brush my teeth and eat breakfast and pump it before handing me the baby if she's awake. Then he will make sure I'm happy on the couch with baby girl and anything I could need before he leaves. The blanket, the remote, the water cup, my phone charger, a clean binky and bottle for baby. As soon as he gets home from work, he'll take her and give me 30 minutes to myself before we start talking dinner plans. We make a good team when it comes to daily life. I don't have to make him lists of things to do. I like that when we're low on milk, he'll just pick it up on his way home without having to be asked. And he doesn't wait for a thank you like he did me some big favor, the way I've seen other men seek gratitude for doing basic tasks. He sucks at gift giving, and this year and last year. So, yes, I'll be doing nothing for him for his birthday. Despite the crappy, thoughtless gift and non-birthday plans, I will be holding off on kicking him out and just matching his energy for his birthday. For Christmas 26, I think I'll get him an IKEA toddler bed to assemble for our daughter and call it a day. And there is a birthday update. Yesterday was my birthday. Hubby surprised me with breakfast out at my favorite local spot, and we did a Home Depot run for more flooring. After that, I did go for my massage. It was wonderful, and I did stop at Starbucks for my free drink. I didn't have time to sit and read before I had to pick my boy up from school, but that's okay. And I know something else that's okay. The OK Storytime episodes full of stories just like this that you can listen to on your favorite podcast platform like iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Just search the name of our show, OK Storytime. I don't know, doesn't sound like this is leave him divorced, like he's a psychopath and he hates you, doesn't love you. It's just like this one thing he is really bad at. I would be really upset about the dinner, not gonna lie. Somebody else brought that up.
Yeah,
it's like he has had a chance, and then he was like,
No, I'm not gonna make you your dinner. I can't buy steak for your mom and dad. Or my mom and dad.
Right.
It's too much steak. It's too expensive.
Like, does he just think that, like, oh, well, we've been married for a while, so, like, we just don't need to do romantic things anymore? Like, you already know that I love you.
that does
You
that
know?
does happen, yeah.
Yeah, like, I could see it being something like that, because he seems to be giving this care in towards, like, the kids and stuff, but obviously they're kids, it's, like, different. but maybe he needs a reminder. They're like, hey, we're still dating. I know we're also married, but like, we could still go out on dates. You still do nice romantic things to me. For me, that still means a lot.
Instead of going to see a movie at the theater, we came home and began a Harry Potter movie marathon. I love Harry Potter. However, my son, without my knowing, had texted my dad and my best friend to come over and surprise me with a visit. He didn't know I had already had my best friend and her niece scheduled to come over to look through a pile of clothes before I took a large haul to donate at the Salvation Army. It was so much fun watching her niece try on dresses. We wrapped up the night with some pizza and cheesy bread. Hubby surprised me with a little gift, 2 new books, a pack of my favorite cookies, and a squishy niffler that I can add to my Harry Potter bookshelf.
Okay, I was like, what?
Overall, I had a great day, and that's the end of
Okay.
that story. I hope you're
Well.
not scrambling to rebook those reservations.
Yeah. My wife developed a new intense friendship, and I feel like I'm losing her.
You just gotta get a big bucket of cold water and throw it on both of them.
My wife and I have 2 daughters and have been together for almost 20 years. She took up ballet this past year and really loves it. She had been stuck with finding a physical activity she enjoyed and had danced when she was younger, so this was perfect fit for her. By the way, this comes from Shaka Poo 1972. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota, and I really wish I was Shaka Poo Poo.
And I'm Vincent, and I also wish I was Shaka Poo Poo.
And we're all here to give good advice goofily to Shaka Poo Poo. But we don't know everything. We don't have all the answers. So let us know what you would do in the comments. She became very close with the other adults in her class, especially her instructor, Rachel. She is single with no children, but according to my wife, has dated a lot of younger, effeminate men. When I first met Rachel, my impression was that she was a sapphic. That was also the impression of some of my wife's other female friends as well. My wife insists that she isn't, but right or wrong, that was our general takeaway. Obviously, there isn't anything wrong with that, but she has really latched on to my wife. They see each other at dance class about 4 times a week and hang out a lot afterwards and in between. After class, Rochelle has her over to watch TV shows and they constantly text throughout the day. Just last Friday, after spending all day with her decorating her house for Christmas, she texted me last minute that she was going to stay longer to watch Christmas movies with her. She has inserted herself in our lives in a way that isn't normal for me. When I go out of town on business, she comes over to our house and spends the night and even brings her pet ferrets with her. My opinion is that Rachel is emotionally love-bombing my wife. She is naive about her feelings, insisting that she's straight, but admits to enjoying the extra attention. I don't think it would ever turn physical, but a lot of the things that she and I used to do together, she's now doing with her. My wife's other friends have expressed concern about the intensity of their friendship as well. I've always supported her having friends, but I'm not sure how to move forward. I have a few close friends that I see on occasion, but they're all married with children like we are and are all busy with what that entails. I just really miss my wife. And there are some comments here. Beautiful Boot says, have you told your wife that you miss her and that you want to do those things with her? If she values you, then her response would be that she wants the same thing. Then you wouldn't limit her, but expressing your desire to be more in touch. I would be concerned if she doesn't want to spend more time with you, considering that she has escalated her relationship with her friend. Then it sounds like an affair. It's easier to hide an affair in a same relationship since you may have looser boundaries about overnights with women compared to men, but be aware of the signs. It wouldn't be the first time a woman leaves another woman. Unjun J says, haha, I don't think I could ever get my husband to willingly decorate the house with Christmas stuff or watch Christmas movies with me. OP, I would personally be so sad if my husband told me to end a friendship with someone who wants to spend all this time with me doing stuff like I like to do, and then my husband wasn't willing to fill in doing those same things. I sometimes feel kind of lonely in my marriage because he genuinely hates my hobbies and is so busy gaming. Having a bestie that wants to do fun stuff would be so nice. If I got one and hubby was jealous that I was finally having fun and not lonely, it would really hit me hard. OP says she decorated her house with her. Christmas has always been special and sacred in our home. I spent 3 days hanging lights and putting up a tree in our home. We have a yearly tradition of watching our favorite Christmas movies as a family. Just 2 nights ago, I suggested that we all watch some together, but my wife said that she was tired and went to bed, so it was just me and the girls. Also, we went as a family last Saturday to see The Nutcracker, but she and Rachel are going again to see it together this weekend. Rocklem says, well, you know your wife. Will she at least entertain discussing your concerns without it leading to a fight? Opie says, we discussed it last night, not the first time, and it led to a fight. Oh, wow. We made up, but nothing has been resolved. She's going through her perimenopause and said that it's making her feel insane. We're trying to get her treatment for it. I told her that once she has some relief, we can come back to this and work on it. Ga3255 says, tell her you miss doing stuff with her, but don't just drop the problem on her doorstep. Have and make a plan to do things with your wife. Clearly, your wife has free time, so plan to spend some of it with her. Plan and take her on a date. Go away for a long weekend. OP responds, I've done all that. This has been going on for several months already. It seems she's enjoying spending time with me less and less. Every opportunity she has to go to a class or just hang with Rachel, she takes it. Commenters discuss spicy proclivity. OP says, yes, I have told her, and we used to do all of those things together. Those things have been redacted. We've always said we were each other's best friend. Now she has a new best friend. I'm not worried about it turning physical. My wife just isn't wired that way, but there is definitely an emotional connection between them that makes me uncomfortable. Ostrich Turbulent 3120 says, I wouldn't be so naive, OP. You can't be completely sure how she's wired and these new feelings she's discovering and what they might lead to. Extra Trouble says, I'm sorry to tell you this, but for women, especially women that are going through something like perimenopause, it's different. She's already having an emotional affair. For women, this is the foundation of everything since we're more close to our feelings, and hormones highlights this even more. It'd be a matter of time when the seeds of doubt start to bloom in her head about her own spicy proclivity. Kelsey Stash says, you need to be. Wives don't choose to do things with their friends instead of their husband and family when it's things that they've always done with them. Rachel is just like another man coming onto your wife. It's not an appropriate relationship, and it certainly isn't okay to have her sleeping in your home. Perimenopause doesn't last a couple of months. You really want this to get much worse over the coming months? You don't. You will resent her so much and you will check out of the marriage. Then it's done. Then some commenters get sidetracked by the ferrets.
Yes, the ferrets.
Ferrets.
The ferrets of the ladies who like ladies.
Yes.
Lady-loving ferrets.
Pale Register says, that is it right there, OP. The overnight stays with ferrets while you're away is a huge red flag. Like, who does that in a normal friendship? Your gut is telling you something, and your wife's other friends are seeing it too. Time for a direct conversation about boundaries and what you both need from your marriage. Tachi7 says, okay, the fact that this person has ferrets is maybe the reddest of flags. JK, kind of. But to be honest, I have sleepovers with my best friends when our husbands are out of town. We have a guest room and it's great because then we're not lonely and we can watch trash TV and drink wine without having to drive home. I'm just saying, 34 says, right? The sleepovers aren't weird at all, but the ferrets make it weird. Anecdotal, but I've never met someone who owned ferrets that could be trusted as a person. Okay, well.
That is fully anecdotal. That's not,
Yeah.
I don't think ferrets make you shifty.
Couple more comments. Sea Monkey Box Kicker says, as a former manager of a pet store for 5 years and someone who shies away from sweeping generalizations, I'm inclined to agree to a degree. D-Wolf says, show her this post in responses. This may show her how her actions are affecting her relationships with you and the kids. Where does the friend sleep when she stays over? What are the kids' feelings on this situation? Do they see this as strange? OP says they sleep in the same bed. My kids seem indifferent about it. They're closer with their mom. Another response is, okay, OP. All the evidence in front of you, and I scrolled far enough to find that 2 grown women are co-sleeping. I know you were born at night, but stop acting like it was last night. What are we really doing here? Are you the man of the house or not? And I'm not even suggesting she end her friendship because this is obviously more than that. Your wife needs to make a choice, her family or her girlfriend. No in between. Update number 2. 2 days later. So I picked up our daughters, 14 and 12, from school yesterday, and on the way home, I just point blank asked them what they thought about Rachel. I had never discussed her with them before because they had always acted as though they liked her. Well, I was definitely thrown for a loop. My 12-year-old immediately said, I can't stand her. And my 14-year-old went on a whole rant about how manipulative she is with her mom and how she uses her. She said that she's always criticizing what they, our children, eat and watch on television and on and on. They both said they love mommy's other friends because they are like second moms to them, whereas Rachel just wants her all to herself. My oldest even said that she is very controlling of mommy by always telling her not to do anything physical outside of dance class so as to not injure herself and therefore be unable to attend her classes. She also said Rachel always makes my wife feel sorry for her about how little money she has and that my wife pays for everything when they do stuff together. I made a point of just listening and to not try to steer the conversation. Basically, every concern I have, they have too, and then some. Wow.
Wow.
This is interesting.
That's the bombshell we were looking for.
Yeah.
It looks like the ferret queen is not to be trusted.
No, it's worse than we thought, I think.
She's got 12 ferrets at home. She's only taken 2 over at a time.
Right. She trades off which ferrets get to go with her.
Mm-hmm. She's like, I can't afford to do anything when we go out because I have so many mouths to feed at home.
After that illuminating conversation, I thought a mini intervention was in order. So when we got home, I just let the girls repeat to my wife what they had just shared to me. I could see the color go out of my wife's face as they told her their feelings. Apparently, she thought they liked her too. By the way, I would really like it if you listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app, and search OK Storytime. To her credit, she just listened to us and didn't attempt to justify or defend her. I reiterated to her that she is definitely trying to pull her away from us and using every emotional trick in the book to manipulate and isolate her. I also told her about this post and all the feedback that I received from everyone here. My wife finally realized what's been happening and even said that she had noticed for some time how Rachel will compliment her but also criticize her in the same sentence. Classic carrot and stick control tactic. She then said that she felt really stupid for being sucked into the situation but has had her own suspicions about Rachel's true identity and intentions for a while, but dismissed them because she always tells her how much she loves men. So all that said, we're not there yet, but I am very hopeful moving forward. After the holidays, we're going to start attending therapy together and hopefully get the tools we need to fix what's broken. Thanks again for everyone's insight and suggestions. This post was an excellent catalyst for change. There are some final comments. Trespassers Will says, maybe not exactly good news, but a heartening development. Now that your wife is catching on, I bet it will bother her that much more. Best wishes to your family. Another commenter, Sure Supermarket, says, hi OP. So your wife, after listening to your daughters and you suddenly realized the behavior of her friend. Your wife's relationship with this person goes far beyond the framework of friendship. It's good that she says so, but before rejoicing you, I advise you to observe her actions rather than her words. Will she always go see the show with her? Will she stay late? Will Rachel come back to sleep at your place when you won't be there, etc.? It is good to keep an eye out, I think.
All very relevant questions, all very important questions, but it sounds like your wife has seen the light.
My husband constantly asks me to praise him, and I'm getting tired of it.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
It has been an ongoing thing lately where my husband, 30 male, will say in a condescending or sing-song tone, "Oh, thank you. I appreciate you, husband's name," followed by whatever task he is wanting praise for in the moment. This story. And it comes from Miss Kitty Cartoon. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Vincent. We got Keon back here too.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. I, 28 female, have always been fairly diligent about telling my husband thank you for doing things that I do appreciate him doing, like washing the dishes, starting the fire, making dinner, and so on. I feel like I usually do it at an appropriate point in the flow of our lives, dealing with an 18-month-old and a second on the way at 5 months, when I notice, with maybe a few exceptions for when my brain just malfunctions entirely. This seems to be happening a lot more lately because I'm pregnant again, pretty close to having the first. I feel really badly about not thanking him properly for doing things like that, but sometimes they just slip my mind. I kind of snapped today though, because it seems to be happening more frequently that he's requesting praise for tasks he's completed around the house. Admittedly, I myself have been slacking in this department a bit too much lately. Tonight, however, was the final straw, and I wanted to address it. I had been thinking about addressing this issue at other times because I do believe it to be an issue at a certain point that I thought would be more appropriate, not when I was frustrated or annoyed in the moment, but with how my brain has been lately, I probably would have just forgotten about it again and let the behavior continue to go seemingly unnoticed. I kind of snapped at him a little tonight. I get home after my husband. He gets home 2 hours before I do and relieves our caregiver for our son, and we'll do chores and play with him before I get home. Right now, due to the time change, I get home after dark, and it's another 2 hours until we put our son to bed. We both work 40 hours a week, with him sometimes working 50, and I work on a 4 to 10 schedule. I walked in the door and was taking my shoes and coat off, putting my purse down, all while trying to appease our hyperactive dogs, trying to say hello to them and my son, who is the first thing I see and look for when I get home because of how much I love how he greets me with a giant grin every time. I had just gotten my shoes off and had patted one of the dogs on the head while calling out to my son to get a hug and kiss, which he obliged. I paused to do that with my coat and purse still hanging on me. I set him down and walked over to the dining room table to put my purse and coat down when I heard my husband say his go-to praise me phrase. I took a breath, finished setting my stuff down, and while repeating what he said, I said, "Thank you, husband, for starting the fire," which I always say sincerely. This pattern, however, has started to deeply annoy me, and I finally addressed it to him. I told him, when you do that, you sound like a child when you're saying that. I mean, I do usually praise you when I notice things you've done right. Gave me a look I interpreted as slightly sheepish and maybe a little confused, which is where I think I may have crossed a line. I then said, "You sound like a child when you do that. Mommy, praise me. Tell me I did a good job."
It's just like, here's what we didn't get, guy. We needed to mix it up a little bit, You kept delivering the same, the same old song and dance. Maybe, you can only recycle so many times, before you can't.
He was definitely upset after that and maybe a little hurt that I made fun of him. I think I repeated it, and he told me to shut up. Though I cannot remember exactly, but I know he has been quieter tonight, likely giving me mostly the silent treatment, even though he has talked with me here and there. I wondered if I was the a-hole for addressing this praise-seeking behavior. I understand that probably not addressing in the moment would have been the best choice, but I probably would have forgotten to address it later due to playing with our child, doing dinner, and the bedtime routine. I am the type of person who has to get the thought out in the moment or else I forget. I also tend to come up with a good comeback hours later and never tell the person because it's too late. Girl, what?
Could you imagine?
What?
5 hours later, Opie's like, "Wait, I got you."
I gotta go back.
Just comes back around the corner. And by the way,
Girly, why are we trying to think of a good comeback for your husband to address an issue?
For
you just
5 hours, yeah.
You get right out of the shower and you're like, you know what? I just thought of something, by the way.
She's Doctor Stranging she's like, I got the one.
I've come to bargain. I think that because I had been thinking about addressing this issue for a while and felt it was childish, that is why I expressed it poorly in this moment. I wondered if there was a more mature way to get my point across. Am I the a-hole? Truly any other way would have been mature. More mature than this.
Is there some other way I could have gotten my point across?
Yes.
Well, you could have challenged him to a physical match of judo taekwondo.
Does he praise you every time you do something? He wants praise because he believes the jobs are yours and he needs thanks for helping you. Opie says he does usually, but I don't really seek it either, lol. Comment 2 says, I mean, you recognize that you weren't in the right headspace and snapped a little, but WTF is up with your husband needing constant praise for doing basic life tasks. Was he a huge participation trophy kid? He's the a-hole. Unless he also praises you constantly when you do stuff around the house. And I agree, he wants praise for doing things he thinks are your job. These comments are not right. And I'm a little worried that OP is going to read them and be like, I was right. I should yell at my husband. That's a healthy way to communicate with your partner. And I'm worried about that.
Yelling is never okay unless you're doing karate and you go, Huss! And that's not really yelling.
Look, I thank my husband for doing things around the house, and he thanks me. But we usually at least let the other get their dang coat off first. Sometimes we'll be getting ready for bed, and he'll say, that was a good dinner, thank you. Or if I'm busy rushing around the next day, I might say, hey, I noticed you ran the vacuum yesterday. I appreciate it. Validation on demand is worthless. You should both be letting each other know you appreciate what the other does, but it doesn't have to be a right this very second thing. You might point out that it would feel better for both of you if he let you do it on your time and sincerely instead expecting you to perform validation like you're a trained SEAL. And if you're forgetting gratitude, he should initiate a conversation with you like an adult. This morning, I got our usual good morning text from him. I replied when I woke up to get ready for work, saying I was really sorry for snapping at him and was hoping we could have a better constructive conversation later if he was up for it. He replied by reacting to the message with a heart. I greatly appreciate all the advice I received in the comments and have thought about it a lot. I'm trying to gather my thoughts for a conversation I want to have. I plan to apologize again in person for snapping at him and mocking him while addressing my frustration. I also will apologize if I have been forgetting to express gratitude for the things I appreciate. I plan to express my true gratitude for how much he contributes and how he has been picking up a lot of my slack while I have been pregnant. While this is not an excuse for not pulling my share of the weight, I will explain my current level of exhaustion with everything going on. I'll explain why I became frustrated. The fact that it feels excessive lately, the tasks he is asking praise for are things he would normally do anyway, and that I felt ambushed while trying to get settled into the house. I'll also mention that his mocking tone, passive-aggressive expectations, and immediate demand for praise have been hurting my feelings. I will also ask questions to understand him better. What brought this on? Does he need validation at that exact moment? Is it okay for me to express gratitude in my own time? Is he seeking praise from somewhere else, and how can I support him more? By the way, you can support us by listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. Finally, I plan to discuss solutions. I want to be able to express appreciation freely on my own time after getting home. If I forget, I would like him to remind me or go through the tasks he accomplished in a mature, constructive way. We will also discuss the division of household labor, accounting for pregnancy and postpartum adjustments, making more time for each other away from the kids, and ensuring our love languages are being met on both ends. I will emphasize that major life events will require appropriate communication moving forward. I appreciate the help from everyone in formulating this conversation. Neither of us is perfect, and I may return for advice if I mess up another situation. Comment 1 says, so basically, he's allowed to act like a child, and if you get frustrated by it, you have to apologize. That comment is dumb.
You should give that comment a gold star.
I'm giving that comment a red thumbs down. I think you should apologize and have an actual conversation with your husband, and he should apologize, and then we're good.